Okay, so where are you from in the Philippines?
I'm from Manila and the province of Pangasinan.
And what was it like growing up in the Philippines?
Growing up in the Philippines, I am pretty much independent. Um, try to do good in school. Try to, um, you know, probably do a lot of household chores. And I think it's more of like a family tie that people have time to get together, celebrate um, birthdays, special occasions, and all that.
And when you were younger, did you know that you were going to move here to the America, or it just kind of happened as you grew up?
I honestly don't know that I am part of the petition. I was really shocked and surprised that one time I had to stop college and go in a different country.
And did you move here by yourself, or you all might move together as a family?
We moved together as a family. We're a family of three. It was my mom and my dad and myself, and my aunt with her family, and my uncle with his family. So it was like a family trip, like a huge family trip.
And when you moved here the first time, what cultural differences did you encounter?
I was scared at first. I didn't know how to adapt to this kind of environment. I mean, it's a foreign country. I was scared to try new things and be out there. I was always just at home. And one of the things that that made me realize that the culture here is different from the Philippines is the fact that um, people are so busy with their works. Students have maybe one or two jobs, which is kind of hard because when I was back in the Philippines, as I mentioned, I was just a student. I didn't have to worry about work. I didn't have to worry about other bills to take care of. It was pretty much just going to school with a scholarship. I really had like a good life there. I'm not saying that I don't have a good life now here, um, but what I'm saying is that living here is actually really hard, and I have to do a lot of other responsibilities other than just going to school. So I also have to work. Most likely, I have to do two jobs. And culture-wise, people here are very nice, very open, but at the same time, you have to be really cautious of who are you with, or what their lifestyle is, because if you can't adopt, then it will be really hard for you, and most likely you're gonna be homesick. So I find it difficult, especially connecting with the families back home. It's hard to build that relationship really easily when you're here in this country. So I think I'm missing my family a lot. I'm missing my friends a lot, and the only way I can connect with them is through social media, most likely Facebook, most of the time. And in response to the question again, I think since we value family most of the time, like gathering back home, I think one of the things that's really hard to do here is that since people are really busy with their jobs and school, it's hard to find that time where people actually get together, although that's manageable sometimes. But most of the time, it's either you're just mostly at work or you're mostly at school.
Okay, so earlier you said that in the Philippines you didn't have to work, but here you had to have two jobs and go to school at the same time.
That's right.
How would you say, how important would you say education is to you and your family?
Oh, that's a tough question. Well, I grew up in a family that values education more than anything else. When I was in the Philippines, I was a first year student in the College of University of the Philippines, Baguio. I was a scholar there, and when we have to move here, I have to stop school. So it took me like a while to decide whether I want to go back to school or not, because a month after applying to jobs, even if I didn't have my degree yet, I got hired at Macy's as a sales associate. And then after 6 months, I got hired in Westlake Vision Center Optometry as a file clerk. So I've been trying to work, but I didn't have the time to go back to school because I thought it was really expensive. By that time, believe it or not, the tuition was already really high. So for us, I should say. So I decided not to go back to school, wait for 1 year to become permanent resident. And my best friend, she told me to go back to school. And I said, when you're already earning money and you're trying to pay all these bills, it's really hard to get yourself back in track. So I went back again after, and I still have the two jobs, and I still go to school full time. And I actually did finish 4 years in community college, and I had my AA, which is in Skyline College. And now I try to apply to university, and I was blessed to get in. And now I'm a junior transfer student at University of Berkeley as a cell and molecular biology major.
Okay, since you moved here at a kind of late age, as what you would say now, did you struggle with understanding the language, or did you know the language prior to moving here?
No, I did not struggle in knowing the language. I actually have a good foundation in English, and I think I had that language skills actually. I got trained pretty well when I went to community college as well.
Okay, so when you first moved here, how was it like finding work?
Ooh, it was tough. It was really hard because I didn't have a degree, so I tried to apply to any jobs that I could find, and if they would accept me, I would go for it. But it's really hard because I don't have the credentials I would say I need. But I did it. It was kind of like a hard first ground, but that this is where I started. So, and I learned a lot of things, and I gained a lot of experiences.
So, what were your ideas of America before moving here, and have they changed?
A lot of people think about this American dream, quote unquote, but I never really see it that way. I'm pretty open-minded about um, how life would be in different countries, but it's a good thing that I didn't expect too much, because although my other relatives are from here, I can see how hard it is for them. So I never really am blinded by the fact that when you go here in America, it's going to be, a good life all the time, and it's not. Other people struggle.
Do you still have connections with your family back home?
Yes, I do. I actually reconnect with them using Facebook, any other social media, Skype. Relationships, I would say I know that things have changed because the way they see my life here is very different now. They think that I could get everything. They think that I have money all the time.
Okay, so how has immigrating here in America changed you as a person?
I became a better person. I think that I could overcome difficulties in life better than what I used to do before, way back home. And I would say that I'm a really independent person now, having two jobs and going to school.
Okay, and how has living in America changed your view of the Philippines?
Living in America actually made me realize that I can get anything I want to. I could go places, but when I was in the Philippines, it was really hard. I don't have a lot of resources, and it was tough getting a job and going to school. So I think in here, it's easy for me to get access with everything.
Okay, so how do you identify yourself? American, Filipino, or Filipino American?
I would say I'm still a Filipino
Because
because that's what runs in my blood. I could be here and I could be in another country and I could identify myself as a different person, but my roots is Filipino.
and how do you maintain a sense of identity and cultural roots while living here in America?
Try to join clubs. Like there are a lot of different organizations in school and a lot of different gatherings that I would say in relation to our culture. So I try to keep that into practice, and just being with Filipino friends as well is really helpful. I get to do stuffs with them and talk in my language with them whenever I want to. So
So how do you incorporate your culture and your practices back home here in America?
So I have a lot of different values that I still carry with me. The first one is being respectful, so, with elders and with anybody. So I still use the word po, opo, ate, kuya, tito, tita. So that's one. Second is try not to be Americanized, I would say. I still eat Filipino foods, still cook Filipino foods, and like what I said, social gatherings, I still go to Filipino events and all that.
So all in all, how has moving to America impacted your life?
Oh, actually, moving here opened a lot of doors for opportunities. I would never see myself going to college in a good university and being able to work with the profession that I want to be in, optometry office, in a retail, and being able to just provide for myself and my family back home. It changed me as a person. Not quite, but I would say that moving here is one of the best experiences that I had in my life that I didn't regret. So